Namaste. Welcome to this practice based around Lord Shiva, one of the great Hindu deities. You might find it useful to have a yoga strap, belt, or long dressing gown cord for this session. In Hinduism, Shiva is one of three supreme beings making up the Trimurti, the Trinity. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the protector or sustainer, and Shiva is the destroyer or the transformer. Unlike some other gods and goddesses, Shiva is depicted wearing simple clothes, animal skins. Shiva has a white body, signifying being covered in ash, like many holy men in India still do today. And if you think about fire and ashes being the end of something, the destruction of something, from which new life then comes. Often he's depicted as a wise yogi, seated in meditation or in peaceful repose. There is another side to Shiva, that of the warrior, and there are indeed both benevolent and fearsome aspects of Shiva. There are so many stories around Shiva. Today's practice concentrates around one particular image of him, that of Nataraj. Nata means dance, Raj means king. So this is Dancer King, Lord of the dance, in which Shiva dances the Ananda Tandav, a blissful dance of destruction in order for there to be recreation. He is shown dancing on a dwarf, representing ignorance. He is suppressing ignorance and holds a flame of knowledge in his hand. Another holds a drum, beating out the rhythm of time. And then his hands are held, one in a blessing and one pointing towards his raised foot, signifying enlightenment, upliftment, with one foot still firmly on this earth. Nataraj dances in the center of a cosmic ring of fire, the wheel of samsara, the eternal cycle of birth, life, and death of the universe. With cobras around his neck and his dreadlocks flying out, usually piled high on his head, they are flying out, knocking planets out of their orbit. Often there's a crescent moon in Shiva's hair, representing the planets, the sky in his hair. I'm going to invite you to come down to lying on your backs. Making yourself comfortable, you can choose to keep the knees bent or let the legs be long. Let your back be comfortable on the floor. And allowing the eyes to close, bring your attention to the breath. Shiva, the word, is made up of a couple of sounds. Shi means omnipresent, or in whom all things are, and Va means grace. So it's this idea of grace, graciousness, auspiciousness, kindness, benevolence. All of these things are translated from Shiva. So using the breath, I want you to breathe into the body, feel the inhale coming in, and notice the exhale as it goes out, as it leaves the body. And that pause at the end of the exhale before the next inhale comes in. So the breath can be used as a metaphor for this cycle of life, this idea of emptying, out the exhale, fulfilling it completely, letting it leave the body. And then this tiny pause before a fresh new inhale can come in. So watching this now on your breath, thinking of this little moment of death, this little moment of quietness, of stillness, right at the end of the exhale, being a Shiva moment. And then it allows this new breath to come in. Whilst you're breathing nice and deep and slow, take your right knee and lift it over your chest, drawing the knee towards you. Little squeeze in. Good. Stretching your leg up gently towards the ceiling. A little stretch out of the back of the leg. And then bending that knee, taking the foot down to the floor. And then drawing the left knee over your chest for a squeeze in. Good. And again, stretching out the foot towards the ceiling, flexing the foot. You can bend and straighten the leg. And bringing that foot down to the floor. And then rolling onto your right-hand side. And propping yourself up. Have your belt with you. And I want you to lie in a straight line. So we've got our shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles in a straight line. And you can either prop yourself up on your forearm or come down onto your elbow, whatever is more comfortable. And we're representing Vishnu. He is the sustainer of the universe, the protector. He keeps all things even. He reclines on a giant serpent on the primordial sea. I want you to get your belt, loop it around your top foot, and bend the knee up as high as you can towards you. Give a little stretch around the thigh, around the hip, bringing that knee in and up. And then when you're ready, inhale. On the exhale, start stretching the foot up to the sky. This is representing Brahma, the creator. So flexing that foot, then you can bend the knee. Breathe out as you straighten the leg as best you can. So Brahma grows out of Vishnu's belly on a lotus blossom. That's the Hindu creation story. Bring the foot a little closer to the head for the last breath. And then release, let the knee go. And roll onto your left-hand side. Line yourself up first. Loop the belt around your right foot. And bending the knee, have your elbow inside the knee, really drawing that knee up towards the shoulder, towards you, getting some work into that hip. And then taking an inhale, use the exhale. Let the strap slip through your fingers. Maybe you don't need the strap at all. You might be able to hold onto your big toes. Up to you. We're going to have the strap as an option today. So bend the knee and straighten it again. And if this feels nice and easy for you to have a straight leg, the exhale's drawing the foot a little closer to the head. So you're getting that stretch down the leg. And then release. Place the strap at the top of your mat and come up and all the way round to tabletop pose. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Nice long spine. Inhale there and exhale round the back, drop the head. Inhale, lifting the heart. Lifting the head, working through our cat-cow. So Shiva's chosen vehicle is a bull. Cows are very sacred, of course, in India, representing strength, load bearing, and the bull representing vitality and virility. Now I want you to, as you go through your cat-cow, we're going to slowly take it into a little bit of a tiger stretch. Shiva wears tiger skins and sits on a tiger skin. So on the inhale, I want you to take your right toe, point it up to the sky. And on the exhale, bring the right knee underneath and look towards it. So inhale into a gentle back bend, keep the back nice and long, looking up. Exhale, nose towards the knee. Couple more times on this side. Good, so we're warming up the spine, opening up the front of the body, and then resting the knee down. Let's take that to the other side. On the inhale, we lift the knee, point the toes up, lift the head. On the exhale, round the back, draw that knee underneath. See if you can fire up the core muscles on that exhale, drawing everything in around the spine. Tummy draws in, sides of the waist, the glutes engage a little, and rest down. Inhale and exhale back to child pose. Hips come back towards the heels, and we pranam down. When we bring our hands and head towards the earth, the chant to Shiva is Om Namah Shivaya, representing the universe, the great Lord Shiva, and saying that we bow down, we respect him. So Om Namah Shivaya. I want you to take your fingertips forward, place the palms firmly onto your mat, and we're going to come through to Cobra in a striking Cobra type move. So inhale, we lift our hips up, drop them forwards, bend the elbows back, and you come to the earth. Good, you can come all the way down. And then keeping those elbows tucked, hands underneath the shoulders, the inhale lifts us up into Cobra, opening up the front of the collarbones, the shoulders draw back, and the shoulder blades slide down. You can take this as gently or as deeply as you want, feeling into this back bend. So Shiva is pictured with cobras around him because he is not scared of the danger. He doesn't fear the poison that they contain, the poison representing the misunderstanding of mankind. Good. Inhale into your last cobra and then push back to kneeling and tuck the toes for down dog. If you don't want to come into downward facing dog, walk the hands forward into puppy dog. So we get a nice stretch out of the back. Pushing the hands into the mat, lengthening the hips away. Breathing into that stretch. You can walk out the legs. And then we're going to take those moves into a little sequence, a Shakti flow, to represent that opposite energy to the Shiva stillness. So we can exhale in our dog. Inhale, we all come to kneeling. We lift our head and tailbone into cow pose. Exhale, hips go back to child. Inhale all the way through to cobra. Be a really low cobra, I don't mind. And again, exhale back into your dog, whether it's down dog or puppy dog. Inhale, cow pose. Lift the head, lift the tailbone. Exhale, hips back to child. Inhale all the way through to cobra. Lovely. This time we're going to come back to kneeling or down dog and make our way to the front of the mat, walking the feet forwards into a forward fold. And nice and soft for this first forward fold. Okay, if you don't want the head to hang loose and low, then you bring your hands to the thighs in more of a half forward fold. Otherwise, let gravity take you down towards the floor. And a little shake out of the head, yes and no, to release the neck. Feet can be hip width apart. Press down into the mat. Use the strength of your legs to slowly roll up. Rolling the shoulders back as you come to the top. Good. Take a breath here. I'm going to take a Shiva stretch. So I want the right foot to cross over the front of the left foot. You put your legs crossed. And then inhale, hands sweep up above. And you take hold of your left wrist. So inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, come over to your right. So you should feel a stretch all down the left side of the body. Inhale up, exhale over. And one more time. Good. And then we're going to come into a sweeping forward fold. So inhale up, and in a nice big arc, like a crescent, sweep the hands down and point the hands towards your back foot. So you're in a kind of strange forward fold, representing the crescent moon that we often see Shiva wearing in his hair. On an inhale, I want you to continue the circle, make a nice big arc. Inhale up to the top and exhale the hands down. Good. Uncross the legs. And we'll do that on the other side. This time the left foot crosses over in front of the right. Inhale the hands up into the air, taking hold of the right wrist. Reach the fingers up on your next inhale, and then over you come on your exhale, reaching in that lovely crescent arch, and use the inhales to come out of it, and then the exhales. Feeling the stretch this time down the right side of the body. Good. And rising up and over, all the way down. Let's point towards that back foot with the hands in our forward fold. Breathing there. Ready on an inhale to continue the circuit all the way up. Exhale, release the hands. And stand in mountain pose. Now, going to take a back bend. There's a lot of heart opening in this practice today. So it's deliberately challenging your beliefs of what you can do, what feels comfortable. Back bending is one of the things which can make us fearful. Balancing is the other, and we're doing that too. So you take this at your own pace, but give it a go. I want you to take your hands onto your sacral area, as though you've got jeans on and you've got your hands in your back pockets. Give the area a rub. So we're sensitizing that area. This part of the back, I want to keep strong and supported. This stays relaxed. The work goes on in the back, the upper back. Draw the elbows towards each other. You'll immediately feel that the chest is already lifting forwards. And take the feet wider than hip width apart and bend the knees. Inhale, lift the gaze, nice long back of the neck. Exhale, let the hips sway forward. Okay, zip up the tummy and feel how that supports the lumbar spine. Rise up on the inhale and keep that going. On the exhale, we let the knees bend, the hips come forward, and we see a bit of the ceiling. Might want to drop our head back, might not. On the inhale, we rise up a little bit or a lot. Exhaling back. Do this one more time, coming as fully into your back bend as feels right for you. But keep all those core muscles working. Keep the back long, and the back bend comes from the top of the body, the heart lifting forwards. Inhale all the way up, release the hands, and have a little sway from side to side. Let the hands swing. So twists are brilliant for neutralizing back bends. So just releasing that work off of the spine. Nice. and bringing it to stillness. So let's introduce the other challenge of balance. Today we're going to do a Shiva style posture. So bringing your attention into your left foot first, which will be our standing leg. You can lift the right knee up. Hands could be on the hips or at the heart. Flex the right foot and then take the right knee across in front of the left leg whilst keeping the hips and the torso square to the front. Good. If you feel balanced, you can take the hands up, cactus pose. And the last part of this posture is then to point at your uplifted foot. And you will realize that we're now in the Nataraj posture, the Lord of the Dance posture. So a little micro bend in the standing leg, and we're pointing at our uplifted foot, signifying our enlightenment in this pose. Keep the breath going. Our upper hand is a blessing. It's saying, fear not, you will survive. Good. Inhale, straightening up a little, and exhale down. Let's do that on the other side. So pressing down into your right foot, lifting the left knee. And hands can stay on the hips or near the heart, whatever makes you feel more balanced as you draw that knee across the body. So this takes us into a twist. And then maybe the hands come up in that cactus style. And last of all, maybe we point to that foot. So this is quite a lot going on here to stay in a balance. So do your best, breathe with it, and check if you're holding your breath or clenching your jaw. See if the work can go on in the body rather than up in the shoulders and the face. Couple more breaths if you can, really good. Yes, we are the Lord of the Dance. Inhale, unwind, and exhale down again. Bring your hands to your heart, the front of your mat. Inhale, reaching up. We're going to fold forwards. Hands can come down the center. Forward fold down. And I'd like you to take your hands behind your lower back, either linking your fingers or holding opposite wrists. And if this is okay on your shoulders, I want you to think about taking your hands back behind you. So the shoulder blades squeeze together. If you're linking your fingers, your knuckles stretch behind you. If you're holding your wrists, then as best you can, you're straightening your arms. Inhale with bent knees and then exhale into a forward fold. So this should be a nice shoulder stretch. You bring your arms up as you bend forward, then release. Inhale, the hands come down, you bend your knees. Exhale, straighten the legs, bow down, and lift the arms up to squeeze those shoulders. One more time if this is okay for you, otherwise release into a usual forward fold. Bowing down. And then everybody, let the hands come down to the floor. And I want you to take a big stride back with your right foot into a lunge. So really go nice and long. Left knee staying over the left ankle. Drop that right knee down to the floor. Soften the top of the foot onto the floor. Ready to rise up in Anjaneyasana, our crescent lunge pose. Press into the front foot. Maybe you do it in stages, bringing your hand to your thigh, then to your heart. And then on an inhale, you choose to lift your arms up or keep them at the heart space. Again, we're looking for a long front of the body, but supported. So imagine those tight jeans. You zip them up, you button them up. The tummy is drawn back and the ribs are soft. This supports that lower back area. And if you want to, on the exhale, you can drop your hips forward and your head back to take you more into that crescent, only if that feels right for you. This could be quite an upright position if you prefer. So one more breath in your crescent lunge, and then exhale, hands down to the floor. The right hand is going to stay on the floor to support you. We're going to take a circle with the left arm. On the inhale, lifting the left fingers forward. As the arm comes up, I want you to turn the palm away from you. And as you reach it back, the thumb now should be on the top, pointing upwards, and the palm away from you. Stretch the fingertips back and then deliberately look forward. So I want you to feel the openness of this left shoulder, just to see what I mean about this external rotation in this shoulder. Turn the thumb down and you should feel the shoulder come forward a little bit. We want to turn the thumb up so that this shoulder is nice and open. So inhale here and then exhale, continue the circle down and bring the hand back to the floor. Keeping the right knee on the floor, take the front foot all the way back, stretch it out behind, and then kickstand out that right foot. Lift your left hand and you should arrive in a half side plank. Great. I'm just going to move my knee a little bit. Ideally, it wants to be a little more under the hip and the hand under the shoulder. And if you like, you can lift the top arm up here, stretching the fingers up to the sky. If the wrist doesn't like it, you can be on forearms. And as an alternative today, you can lift that back foot up, bend the knee, and taking the palm face out like we just did, reach back and see if you can touch the back foot. Doesn't matter if you can't, just point the hand vaguely in the direction of the back foot. If you can touch the back foot, see if you can grab the inside edge of it, so your arch rather than the outside, keeping the palm facing away. Okay, this is a good practice for what's to come. Inhale, lift the chest, and then exhale, release the posture. Come back to kneeling and sink your hips back to child pose. And breathe. Om Namah Shivaya. We bow to you, Shiva. Good. Inhale. Come forward. Exhale. Back to downward facing dog. And walk your feet forward. Come into soft forward fold at the front of your mat. And this time, it's the left foot that's going to shoot back into a lunge. Nice big lunge. Feel a bit of a stretch in the thighs before you drop that back knee down to the floor and soften the top of the foot. Lovely. Ready for rising up into your crescent lunge. You can do it in stages. Maybe you sweep the arms up in one go. Use those core muscles to support the posture. Press down into the front foot and the back shin so that you've got that connection from the earth and then you rise up from it. If this feels good to you, the exhale, you can allow the hips to sink forward, but watch that lumbar spine. I want it to be nice and long still. The work should be going on in the top of the body if you're taking it into a back bend, not the lumbar area. So breathing in here, reaching up, and then exhale, bow back down, hands come to frame the foot. This time it will be the left hand pressing into the ground, and we're going to take a circle with our right arm, stretching the fingertips forward and up, allow the hand to turn, palm is facing away from you, and the thumb's going to end up pointing upwards as the hand is behind you. And then again, practice looking forward. So we're reaching back, that lovely open front of the shoulder, stretching back, and then exhale, continue the circle, let the hand come back down to the floor. Take the front foot, the right foot, all the way back behind you. Swivel around on that left knee. Get yourself comfortable, lined up in your half side plank. So ideally we want the hand, knee and back foot all in one line. And the top hand can come to your hip or stretch up into the sky, feeling this openness across the heart. And maybe you lift the back foot up, bend the knee and reach behind, okay? The foot might not be there, doesn't matter. But if you can turn the palm up so that it's facing away from you and grab the inside of the foot, good practice for dancer pose. Wherever you are with this, lift the heart, nice big breath in and exhale. Bring the hand back down to the floor. Sink back into child pose. Om Namah Shivaya. Ready to come through to Cobra. So inhaling up and through. Rest down and find your strap. I want you to come more into a Sphinx pose for a minute. And it's going to reach back behind us and loop the strap around our right foot, around the top of the right foot. So the knee is bent. And again, get that palm facing away from us. Try and get into the habit today so we keep this shoulder nice and open. Lovely. And then lie yourself down on your mat. If you've got room, stretch out your left hand in front of you. Forehead might come down to the mat. And keeping the right thigh on the ground for a minute, kick back into that right foot and see if you can feel a stretch along the front of the thigh. We want something to be going on in the legs, so we're working those muscles. And then if your strap is long enough, I want you to let the strap slide through your fingers, bring the foot a bit closer to your bottom, and see if you can bring the elbow forward so that now you're holding the strap over your shoulder. Don't worry at all if this doesn't work out for you. It's not vital. You can always reach behind and point towards the lifted foot. So use the left arm to support you. Let that come across at a bit of an angle. So we're now more in a Sphinx pose again. And kick back into the strap, see if you can lift the knee. Try and lift the knee backwards rather than out to the side, okay? Feel that stretch down the front of the thigh. Think about the back of the body. Is it nice and long? Is the tummy working? All those muscles engaged. And release and relax and unloop yourself and give that go on the other side. First of all, once we've lassoed the foot, we're reaching behind with the palm facing outwards to keep that shoulder externally rotated, and we lie down long on the floor, maybe reaching our right hand into the floor ahead of us. And we're trying to lengthen the front of the thigh. Kick back into the strap so you've got a bit of resistance and the thigh stays on the ground. The body is nice and long. Get a little bit of muscle tone going. And then see if you can slide the hand up the strap, bringing the strap over your shoulder. And then this is a different sort of stretch. So the right hand comes in front of you at a bit of an angle to support you. You're a bit more upright. And we lift the knee. So we've got more of a back bend going on here. So really stress, feel into your body. Is this right for you? Lifting the heart, lifting that back knee, kicking back into the strap and feeling hopefully a stretch down the front of that left leg. And then release. Untangle yourself. And your choice, you can either rest down on your tummy in crocodile pose and rock the hips, or you might want to ease yourself all the way back into child pose and breathe there. So whatever feels nice for your back, releasing after our back bends. Ready to rise back up again. Bring yourself to kneeling, and then down dog if you wish. And walk forwards into a forward fold. Pressing down into your feet, rolling up, roll the shoulders back. And breathe here in mountain pose. So take a moment and scan through the body. Notice what's happening, getting that energy moving around. Notice the heart rate, the breath. And feel this calm, this stillness after that movement. Okay, everything comes to an end, even the postures in this yoga class. So noticing the end and then ready for a new beginning. Going to balance in warrior 3 pose. So taking your left foot back behind you, pressing into your right foot, shoot the hands back at the same angle as your back leg is. And when you feel you've got your balance on your right foot, lift the left toes up behind you. And I want you to stay in this lovely straight line. So out through the crown of the head and out through the back foot, you're thinking energy is flowing. And the hands can stay at this angle. They could come to the heart. Or if you want to tip a little more forwards, maybe the hands go out like an aeroplane. Whatever makes you feel more balanced. And however far you come, keep the hips level. So again, we don't want that back foot wandering out to the side. We want it going back, and we want to keep this straight line. So you might come as far as T-shaped. You might be almost upright. I don't mind. Breathe in here in your warrior 3. Bend to the front knee and allow yourself to drop back. So that back foot drops, it finds the floor. And you want to be in quite a long lunge. Keep that front knee bent. Inhale, and the hands come up. This is warrior 1 pose. The hips are still facing the front. Press down into the outside edge of that back foot and feel how that lifts the sacrum and tilts the pelvis. Draw the tummy in again. So now you've got that strong lower back, a lifted heart. Inhale here. You can straighten the front knee a little, and then exhale, open up into warrior 2. So you might want to take the feet wider apart for warrior 2 and sink down into your warrior. Breathing here. Strong gaze down that right arm, and then dancing warrior pose. So the top hand lifts up, the bottom hand comes under, so you're holding a giant beach ball. Good. And then exhale, nice big circle, representing this circle of flames, coming into almost side angle pose. Yes. We're going to dance back again, this time all the way into reverse warrior. Keep that front knee bent. Top hand lifts up, and the back hand drops onto the back leg. Again, how is that lumbar spine? Lift up through the torso. Nice big breath in. Exhale into your side angle. So front arm can rest on the thigh, top hand comes to the hip, or maybe lifts up, maybe even over. Breath here in side angle. And then bow down. Hands coming to the floor. Frame the front foot, turn the back toes. Ready for a Shiva squat. Okay, this is a little bit different. Give yourself a little rock backwards and forwards. And when you feel able to, take the weight on your front foot and lift the back toes up. It doesn't matter if they then touch down again, but they can lift all the way up into a balance if you want. Bend that front knee and draw the back knee towards it like you're doing a curtsy mid-air. This is a Shiva squat. Inhale, take that back leg out again. Exhale, draw the back knee in, Shiva squat. Take it out again. This time you might want to come into a normal forward fold and rest for a couple of breaths. Or when you come into your Shiva squat, can you get your balance and bring your hands to your heart? This is strong on the leg. Pressing down into it. Nice deep breath. And then bend forward. Everyone come into a forward fold. Press down into the legs. Roll yourself up. Okay, good stuff. Got to do that on the other side now. Ready for your balance? First of all, warrior three. This time it'll be the right foot going back behind. Shoot those arms back. That always helps me to get a nice feeling like I've got a rod through the body. Little micro bend in the standing leg and come into your balance. Keep the breath going. Think about that length out through the crown of the head, out through the back foot, and trying to keep these hips level to the floor as you tilt forward as much or as little as you want. Back of the neck is long, so tucking that chin. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, drop the foot back, and the heel spins round so you're in that warrior stance. Hips face the front. You inhale, lift the hands. Warrior one first of all. Pressing down into that back foot, drawing the tummy back, tilting the pelvis a little, tailbone is long, heart is lifted. On an inhale, straighten the front leg a little to lift up, and exhale, open out into warrior two. Really nice. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, pressing down into the feet. I'm going to dance through the next bit. So front hand goes up, bottom hand comes under into that lovely dancing warrior pose, and then swing it all the way around, making this circle of fire with our hands, representing the cycle of life and death. Lovely. Take it back all the way now into reverse warrior, exultant warrior. Front knee is still bent here. Big breath in, reaching the fingers up to the sky. And then exhale, left hand comes down to the thigh, top hand to the hip or on, up, maybe even over the head, side angle. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the front foot with your hands. Turn the back toes. Step forwards. And we're in our Shiva squat. So that leg lifts up. And then on the exhale, both knees bend into your sort of standing curtsy, your balancing curtsy. Inhale, open into the balance. Exhale, squat down. Really draw everything in. This is a core posture. And either now coming to your forward fold and breathing, or see what you can do to get your balance in your Shiva squat. Hands come to the heart. This is great for strengthening the leg muscles. You'll probably feel it working. And bow down. Release into a forward fold. Make it soft. Pressing down and slowly rolling up. You will be glad to know, you might not be, that we have arrived at our peak pose, our dancer's pose. So have your strap ready. There are lots of options for the next part of the class. Ideal if you're watching on a replay that you can have a watch and then stop the video and have a go at some of these different variations. So dancer's pose is a balance. It's the one where we lift one foot out behind us And we lift the other hand up in alternative postures. So let's try this idea of making like a yoga flip-flop. Grab your strap and place your right foot into it. So stepping into the middle of your loop of your belt or your strap, cross the ends of the strap over and take them behind your knee. So now you should have like a crisscross across your ankle. If you press down into your left foot and take the right foot behind you, you should feel that that foot is in a nice supportive sling. Okay, so this could be your dancer's pose, or you can lift the foot up towards the bottom more. If you want to try it, like when we were lying down, you can turn the elbow and take the strap up over your shoulder. Try and keep the knee parallel again, don't let it go out. Okay, and from here, you might be able to catch hold of both ends of the strap. If you want to, use one hand at a wall to do this. Okay, if you're with me, kick back into your strap, lift the heart, keep that tailbone long, and you should come into this lovely back bend. Do not worry if this doesn't happen, especially first time. And release. This is something to practice. Let's try it on the other side. So you could have a chair or a wall to keep one hand resting on. The idea is to open the front of the body. Remember, we're challenging ourselves. So stepping the left foot into the strap, crisscrossing over the front of the ankle and catching hold of the strap behind the leg. Okay, and then when you're ready, finding your balance first of all on that right foot, taking the foot up. This could be your practice to stay here and balance. You might be able to swivel the arm around and lift the strap over your shoulder. Doesn't matter if not. If you've got a wall, you could reach out to it. Maybe you reach back with both hands and then you can start playing to get this lovely back bend happening. You kick back into your back foot. Okay, if you don't need the strap, then the foot can touch the head and you can grab hold of your toes effortlessly. If, like me, that's a distant dream, then you work in your own way as you can and then release out of it and come back to standing. Okay, so that's one version. If you want to use the straps for the classic pose now, you're welcome to. You lasso your foot in whichever way is right for you. You can do that same thing again, or you could take the foot behind you and lasso it just with one single strap around it. Starting on the left foot. Good. And this left hand either comes out to the wall or it can lift up. And we find our length down the front of our body and then slowly bend forwards. Lift the back knee up. Okay, and the front palm can face forwards towards you. I'm going to take chin mudra because that makes me feel strong with the thumb and forefinger linked. And we strike our pose, inhaling, lifting our heart, exultant. Doesn't matter how this ends up. Feel into your expression of dancer and come out of it. And you are very welcome to stay in it longer than I am suggesting. It's totally up to you. So maybe if you don't need the belt, this time you're pressing down into your right foot, the left foot lifts up, and you catch hold of it behind. Now, my shoulder's now pointing forward, so I'm going to deliberately turn the palm away from me and catch hold of the inside of my foot. And that way, I keep the shoulder joint lovely and open. I lift the right hand up, and then I begin the work. And it doesn't matter if you stay upright here or you come into a tilt, you make your dancer shape. It is a back bend, so go easy. Remember all the work we've done to keep that lumbar spine supported, the heart lifted, strong on the body, and gently bringing yourself out of it, taking a moment in mountain pose and feel the energetic effects on your body. There will be a response to those postures. So come to stillness and notice. And if there's an inner negative voice, let that go. Enjoy and celebrate what you achieved rather than what you would have liked to achieve. We all gave it our best shot. And breathe. Lovely. Bring the hands to the heart. You're going to fold down now. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bowing down. Touching the floor and coming to sitting. So bend the knees, come back to sitting. Going to neutralize those back bends with a quick twist before relaxation. So taking your right foot and bending the right knee, plant the foot across the outside of the left leg, ready for our half Lord of the Fishes twist, sitting nice and upright. The left toes stay flexed. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, rotating towards the bent knee. Come into your twist. The right hand comes to the ground behind the hips. The left arm or hand wraps around the knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to turn, looking over that right shoulder. So this posture represents Shiva whispering the teachings of yoga to Parvati. His wife wanted to follow the teachings of yoga, and Shiva said, I've got to take you to a remote rock in the middle of the sea where no one will hear, and he whispered the teachings into her ear. Take one more breath here. And on the inhale, unwind back to the front. And then this time, left foot plants over the side of the right knee. Again, get yourself good and grounded. Good contact with the floor. Draw yourself up tall. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, wrapping around. The right arm this time wraps around the left knee, and the left hand comes behind you. Length up through the spine on the inhale, and the twist happens on the exhale. And keep it going, so you unwind a little on the inhale and then come back into the twist on the exhale. So unbeknownst to Shiva, the Lord of the Fishes, Matsyendra, in the form of a fish, was listening to his conversation with Parvati and heard the teachings of yoga and spread them to his people. Inhale now out to the front. Exhale out of the posture. Gather anything you want for relaxation, socks, extra layers, a blanket, and come down to lying on your back. Choosing whether the knees stay bent or you come into our classic Shavasana pose, dropping out to the side with the legs long. Turn the palms up to the sky. I want you to really lengthen the back out after all that work. You might want to tuck the knees in for a little rock first of all. And then using your elbows on your mat, I want you to take your shoulders away from the hips. Lengthen the tailbone down so that you're really getting as much of your back as possible onto the floor, and then release. Release and relax. Soften down into the mat and let your eyes close. So Shiva is said to be the first yogi, the Adi yogi, teaching Parvati about yoga with Matsyendra, the Lord of the Fishes, overhearing and then spreading those teachings. And as we come to relaxation, we come into the idea of finishing, the idea of the end. Everything must come to an end. And this is what Shiva represents. Our practice today was deliberately about facing a couple of our fears, back bending and balancing, really heart-opening postures. So there was a lot of lifting the chest forward, and this can bring up emotions. This can release things that we hold within us. So be kind and gentle to yourself after the practice. More than anything, the practice was about illuminating the idea of fear of change. We often hold on to the familiar simply because we're scared of what change might mean. And when we do that, then we can end up sticking with things which are maybe not so good for us. We need to understand that the only constant, the only thing in life we can be sure of is that things will change. They will be impermanent and they will transform. And we can do that the easy way or the hard way. Shiva is brutal yet benevolent, compassionate with his idea of endings, bringing about the end of something so that there can be a transformation and something wonderful and new can start. Today, perhaps you've explored a little outside of your comfort zone. And perhaps now you can feel into that and feel stronger because of it. In yoga, we have this wonderful tool of the breath, breathing through the postures, harnessing the breath, moving with the breath in order to help keep ourselves on more of an even keel. Harness the breath now and enjoy big, deep inhales and nice, slow, long exhales. Looking for that little pause at the end of the exhale before the next breath comes in. That turning point. Shiva represents the end of the breath, allowing the body to fully let go in order for this lovely new fresh breath to come in again. Recognizing the importance of that ending in order to allow a new beginning. Taking a couple more deep inhales, slow exhales. And then starting to move your fingers, move your toes, Bringing that Shakti back into the body, maybe stretching out or hugging the knees up over the chest and rocking and rolling, massaging the back of the body. Rolling onto your right hand side and pressing yourself up to sitting. Bringing the hands in front of the heart, going to make that circle of flames, that idea of the cycle of life and death. As we inhale, taking the arms out in a nice big circle, touching at the top and bringing them back to the heart. Flying out that exhale. Lovely big inhale again. Taking a new breath. Releasing out the old. Inhaling into the heart, joining me in an Om if you want to. Om. Taking a bow to yourself for practicing today. May you have strength in your heart and in your mind to let go of the old and embrace change gracefully. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste.